Welcome to this presentation on April 9 for our Introduction to Law and Legal Professions class. Thank you for attending either virtually or after the lecture has been posted. I'm going to show you the agenda that I have for today. It's a little cumbersome to do this, but I'd like for everyone to know kind of where we're going today. So we're going to cover any questions that you have about the material or anything else. I'll show you the syllabus, remind you about due dates, our plans for next week. I'll talk briefly about HonorLink, answer any other questions that you may have about the material. I'll turn off the tape recording and we will cover some of the answers to the midterm. So let me go ahead and turn off share and see what questions you might have. You can either turn on your mic and ask your questions verbally or post them in the chat. Okay, well, if you have questions as we go forward, feel free to type them into the chat, or you're welcome to also just interrupt if you would like. So whatever makes sense for you. And I will go back to our agenda. And I will show you the syllabus now. So I'm going to go to Canvas. For me to show you the syllabus, I have to turn off student view. It's a little quirk in Canvas. And I go over here to our syllabus. I'm not actually going to change these aspects of the syllabus that I'm about to talk about because it's quite cumbersome to do that administratively. Lots of people have to post it or agree to it, and they're invariably what's going to happen is people won't know to look for this, and so it'll be delayed and there won't be any accurate syllabus. So I'm going to use this one, but I'm going to tell you what we're going to change. Let me scroll down a little bit more. So we have done, or we are finishing up Chapter 7. The Chapter 7 quiz is going to be due this Sunday. And we are in week 12, but we haven't done the resume module, or we haven't begun Chapter 13. In addition, we haven't done an event from week 6, the paralegal orientation. We haven't completed it. And so this next week, I hope to get us pretty much up to speed. So we will be doing the resume module, Chapter 13, and the paralegal orientation, completing that. The lectures form, now I'm going to go back to student view. Some of these lectures are already available. You can see in our first module, online lecture module, I've posted the first orientation session lecture. I expect that there will be 1 to 2 more. I hope to be posting those over this weekend. If not over this weekend, I definitely hope to do so before our next meeting on Tuesday. And you can see the Chapter 7 lectures are right here. There's 2. Those would be good preparations for the Chapter 7 quiz. We're not doing Chapter 8 this semester. And then there are 2 lectures on the resume module. And we have 2 lectures on Chapter 13. The resume module will have an assignment associated with it. Let me show you our agenda so we can see what it is. So this is what we'll be doing next week. We will not be having test number 2 next week. So I know that was on the agenda, but we will not be having that at that time. Next week, I will release a resume assignment. It will not be due next week. Let me just add that. Not due until later. The Chapter 13 quiz, though, will be due whatever that Sunday date is. So it's, well, I'll just say Sunday after Easter. I don't happen to have a calendar in front of me, but not the Sunday that's coming up in 4 days, but I guess in 11 days. That will be when that quiz is done. I have not posted it yet. I also plan on working on that and posting that shortly. So the only thing that you'll have to do next week is going to be the Chapter 13 quiz, but I will talk about the resume assignment in one of our virtual classes. So are there any questions so far about what the plans are for the next 2 weeks, or this week and next week? Okay. Let me go back to now let me show you a little bit about HonorLink. The college has decided to offer a free proctoring service for the purposes of tests, mainly the final examination. Each class is allowed to have 2 HonorLink exams proctored for free for students. And so what I have chosen to do is to offer the midterm, excuse me, not the midterm, we've already taken that, the final examination in a proctored format using HonorLink. As a result of the fact that it's proctored, it will not be timed, so you can take as long as you would like. If there were some kind of internet problem, you lose your internet connection or something like that, we would be able to address that at that time. I mean, not at that moment, but you'd be able to reach out to me and we'd be able to work through that. And so that should remove a fair amount of the stress associated with the midterm that we had. So since it will not be timed. HonorLink is a pretty snazzy soft company and software. I got a demonstration yesterday, and at least the demonstration was pretty impressive. You will see on Canvas that there is available to you right now a tab called HonorLink. I've added that. I'm just going to click on it right now so you can see what it's like, but there's nothing posted there, so it's going to tell you, there's nothing to see. Eventually, obviously, when we're ready for our 2 tests, they will be available here for you. So speaking of the 2 tests, let me show you what the 2 tests will be like. Going back to the syllabus. So ordinarily we would have test number 2 and test number 3, and then we would have the final exam. Since I'm only allowed to have 2 tests be proctored, I'm going to combine test number 2, test number 3. Now I'm still doing the thing where I will drop your lowest of your 3 test grades. So while you're taking the test, it will be obvious where test number 2 starts and where test number 3 starts. And so I will treat those as separate grades even though you're taking them within one document. I have to set it up as one document because that's the terms of the contract that HonorLink has with Colin, and you have to take them at one time, which of course is less than ideal, but the good news is that it will not be timed. So I will continue to drop the lowest of the, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing my desktop with you, I apologize. Crazy me. Catherine asks, since it will be proctored, we'll be able to backtrack. I'm going to say no, and let me explain why. It's really to protect you as a student. I had several students say to me that they came close to losing their internet connection at some point. So there is a real chance that you will lose your internet connection. I didn't have anyone who I think actually did lose it, but they were very much concerned that they would lose it. If I allow backtracking, then I can't let you reopen the test. And so as a result, because you could have gone to question 27 and then gone back to question 10, and I won't know which questions you have read or which questions you haven't read. So I won't allow backtracking for the tests. Thank you. It's a good, very good, helpful question for you to ask, Catherine. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen top since I forgot to do it before. So basically it will be test 2 and test 3 will be one big test. I am going to offer it probably starting the week of April 27th, and it will need to be completed early in the week of May 4th. What I will do then is later in the week of May 4th, permit or show you all the answers to both tests. And that's very good preparation for the final examination. So I will probably have the big test close maybe on this Sunday, maybe the May 4th date. So again, I'll be giving you lots of information that's quite a ways in the future, but I wanted to alert you to a change. In a sense, it's not a change at all, except of the date, but it will look like one test for the purposes of the process of taking the test. And I'll give you more information about HonorLink going forward. The things that you ought to know now are going to be that you will need a webcam. If you don't have a webcam, I will personally proctor your test, which is no problem. Obviously, I'll do it for free. It will be, I think, easier for you if you have the webcam, but I'm certainly not expecting anyone to go out and buy a webcam. So don't feel like you're expected to do that. I am glad to proctor it for you. The only thing you'll need if I proctor it is a computer and or laptop and a smartphone, a phone that you can show me what you're doing. Another requirement that you will need for HonorLink is you will need a laptop or a computer. A Mac should be fine, but a tablet or a phone will not work. So if that is your situation, we'll talk in the future about that, but please reach out to me, send me an email, and we can talk through how I would be able to proctor it for you. So those are kind of still to be worked out. But again, most of y'all I anticipate will have a webcam and will have access to a computer, PC, Mac, or a Chromebook will also work, and we'll be able to use HonorLink. Okay, so that's the HonorLink info in brief format. Again, here we'll be doing the 2 tests. Oh, there will be a practice test that we will do with HonorLink. Obviously that will not be for a grade and it won't count as one of our 2 tests. It'll just show you how to go about doing the HonorLink procedures. So that's the information that I have. Are there any questions before we go to the midterm answers? I'll wait for a second. Okay, I'm going to end the recording.